grab your notebook and a blanket, and let's wind down together. Tonight, I'm going to ask you 20 questions, all finance related, obviously, and I will give you space to either write down your answers or just simply think about them. And then I will go through them again and I will give you my answers to them. A little bit of get to know me style. So, question 1. What was your last purchase you made that made you feel good and brought you joy? Brought you joy. Question 2. What limiting beliefs do you have about money? Limiting beliefs about money. Question 3. Do you feel guilty for spending money on things that you enjoy? Question 4. Do you ever feel silly for buying things as a grown-up that would have brought you joy as a child? Question 5. Do you feel stuck and like you can't change your financial situation? Question 6. Do you ever buy something because you feel like it will impress others, mostly strangers? Question 7. Have you ever been influenced to buy something you didn't really want? Question 8. If someone asked you right now if you know your financial numbers, could you tell them? Question 9. How does opening your banking app make you feel, and why? Question 10. If you had enough money to last you a lifetime, what is the first thing that you would do? Question 11. If you won the lottery, would you tell people? Question 12. If you made no changes in how you manage your finances this year, would your future self be happy about it? Question 13. Do you invest your money in some form? Question 14. Do you talk to anyone about your finances? Question 15. How does seeing others who have a better financial situation make you feel? Question 16. Do you tell yourself you are bad with money to avoid learning how to improve your relationship with finances? Question 17. Do you ever confuse looking successful with financial stability? Question 18. Have you ever missed an event because of money? Question 19. What is one piece of advice you would give your younger self? Please feel free to leave this in the comments if you are willing to. And question 20. Do you think money can bring you happiness? I hope by answering these questions, it will have brought some things to light about you and how you feel about money, and has maybe given you something to think about going forward, whether that's improving your relationship with it, looking into investing, wanting to share it with others. Anything is a small win, even the smallest takeaway from those questions. And if you would like to, I'm now going to go through them again and give you my answers, which you may or may not find interesting. So question 1. What was the last purchase you made that made you feel good and brought you joy? I'm really not sure. I have a strained relationship with purchasing things and feeling joy. Again, I think it's a bit of consumerism, but I almost find the purchase or the ordering of an item to bring me more joy than the item itself, which is really strange. However, I did the other weekend, if you can class it as a purchase, I very randomly at a sporting event got a tattoo. It's a little ghost. It's literally about the size of a 10-pence piece, but the spontaneity of it and the cuteness of it just brings me joy. So I guess that's my answer to that. What limiting beliefs do I have about money? I feel like my relationship with money is getting better, and I have a lot fewer limiting beliefs. However, this is it, I can't improve where I am, and that I'm always going to be stuck in this sort of month by month, paycheck to paycheck, even though I don't live paycheck to paycheck. I'm very fortunate that I put money in savings every month, I invest money every month, I overpay on my debt every month, so I realise I'm very privileged, but it wasn't always like that, and I still feel that coming through every now and then. Yeah, so I think that's my limiting belief, is that I can't escape my current situation. Do I feel guilty for spending money on things that I enjoy? Not. I feel less guilt on spending money on things I enjoy, so experiences and doing things with my partner and weekends away, things like that, I feel no guilt over whatsoever. Frivolous purchases, I do still suffer with buyer's guilt for some things. Do I ever feel silly for buying things as a grown-up? Questionable. That would have brought me joy as a child. Absolutely not. I used to feel embarrassed to tell people that, you know, I enjoy playing video games. I will drop £70 on a brand new game when it comes out. I will, you know, purchase Nidos. I buy paint by numbers. I'll buy Lego. I'll buy lots of childish things. But who decided they were childish anyway? You know, why can't we enjoy them as an adult? So no, I don't feel guilt or silly over that. Do I feel like I'm stuck and I can't change my money situation? Yes and no. I have to remind myself that it is just my limiting beliefs making me feel like that. Everyone can improve their situation. It just requires education and perseverance and a bit of sacrifice, but I believe it can be done. And I don't really believe that I am stuck, but I do have to remind myself sometimes that I'm not. Do I buy things to impress strangers? Not particularly. I feel like I used to a lot more, but as I've gotten older, I buy what I want, when I want, essentially, and it's for me, it's not for others. Have I ever been influenced to buy something that I didn't really want? 100%. 100%. I could have talked myself into buying one of those Labubu things. I don't need one. I don't want one. I don't like them. They're ugly. And they serve no purpose. If you like them, go ahead and buy them. But I very much do not need one, even though I want one. I have a shopping cart full online of things I want. I don't need them. I want them, and they will stay in my cart until I have a very good reason to purchase them. Do I know my financial numbers? If someone wants to ask me right now, I would say maybe 80% yes. generally know where my money's going. And if I'm ever having a bad day, I like to look at my savings account and see that it's going up, and that the debt associated to some accounts is going down, and that always makes me feel better. If I had enough money to last me a lifetime, the first thing I would do is quit my job. I would quit my job. I would open a little bakery cafe in my local town, and I would just embrace the cozy season. And that would be what I did. If I won the lottery, would I tell people? No, but there would be signs. I don't think I would have to tell anyone. I think they would know. As I said, I would open a bakery. Me and my boyfriend would open a gym. I would buy a new house, a new car. I'd get my parents a new car, house paid off, etc. So I wouldn't have to tell anyone, they would know. If I made no changes to how I manage my finances this year, would my future self be happy about it? That's hard to answer because I am actively making changes to my finances all the time, in order to reach my goals. I did do a little video about my SMART goals, which is on the channel that you can watch. I'm constantly changing my finances to suit my goals and to work towards achieving what I want. So I think my future self will be happy about it. Do I invest my money in some form? Yes. I invest through Trading 212. I have a portfolio on there. I would love in the future to look at renting my house out to someone and using that as a small form of investment. But yes, I do invest my money. Do I talk to anyone about my finances? Yes and no. I'm more than happy to give my opinion to people and discuss savings techniques, investing techniques, things like that. But there isn't anyone in my life who has a full picture of my finances, in terms of debt and stuff like that. I am a civil servant, and I find it very easy to talk to people about what I earn because it is public knowledge. Everyone knows how much I earn. I know how much my colleagues earn because we're all on a set pay scale, which I think is great for transparency, not so great for work ethic, and giving you an incentive to maybe do better, because everyone on that pay scale is earning the same amount regardless of how much responsibility they have or how much work they are actually doing. So that's something that I feel doesn't really do us any benefit, but yeah. How does seeing others who have a better financial situation make you feel? I'm not ashamed to admit that I have a twang of jealousy when I see people, especially younger than situations. You know, they might have their own business or investment portfolio, or just generally they might be a content creator or something like that. And yes, it does make me feel slightly jealous, partly because I wish I had started earlier and taken a leap of faith, you know, started a business, something like that. I wish I'd done it at their age, so when I see people younger than me, I feel a bit jealous. But I also then like to remind myself that if they can do it, so can I. I just need to put the time and the effort into it so that I can get there. But I try to use it as more of a inspiration. That's the word I'm looking for. I like to try and use it as inspiration to motivate me to do better. Do I tell myself I'm bad with money to avoid learning and how to improve my relationship with finances? The short answer is no. I don't think I am overly bad with money compared to some people that I know, and I am actively learning and trying to better myself. Whether that's through this channel, watching other people, reading books, that kind of thing. I know I'm trying to improve myself. Do I ever confuse looking successful with financial stability? Not anymore. I used to look at people my age who were on holiday every couple of months, new cars, lots of nice clothes, etc. Who, again, because of how my work pays people, I would know their salary and I was earning more than them and questioning what I was doing wrong when they can afford that and I couldn't. It wasn't until I had a random conversation with someone and they mentioned that they were in a lot of credit card debt, but they were living life. It was great. And that is something that really woke me up to think, oh, actually, they look like they're doing really well, but it's all on finance. So yes, my life wasn't flashy, it was a bit boring, etc. But I bought my own house, bought my car, etc. And you know, I wasn't racking up even more debt than what I had, shall we say. So yes, I think it's very easy to confuse looking at someone who appears to have everything from the outside when actually they're being crippled by debt or they're being bankrolled by a relative or a partner or something. And quite often, and I've learnt this through things that I've watched and listened to, etc., money is actually quite often quiet. If you are wealthy, you probably drive a mid-range car, but it'll be new, it's clean, it does what it says on the tin. They generally won't be walking around with a load of designer gear, etc. They will live a nice, quiet, modest life with very few worries, whereas those who are living a very flashy, Instagrammable life could quite possibly be up to their eyeballs in debt, and you don't know, and they won't tell you, and you're just left questioning why you can't do it too. So I used to think that, but I have learned not to fall for it now. Have I ever missed an event because of money? Probably. missed it, or I will have just chucked it on a credit card and worried about it later. Thankfully, I don't have to do that now. I did put this question in because I overheard someone once saying, I can't afford to have friends because I don't have enough money. And I thought that was really sad and made me feel really awful for that person. I thought it must feel really lonely to not have people you can confide in, all because you have a poor financial situation. It doesn't seem very fair. And if anyone listening to this is in that situation, I hope you would reach out to someone, and I hope you find people that will like you for you and will accommodate your financial situation, whether that's, free walks, walking the dog on the beach, or, doing something relatively low cost, getting a coffee, or just, going for a drive or something, because everyone deserves to have someone. What is one piece of advice I would give my younger self? I will write this in the comment as well, but one thing I would love to tell my younger self is that investing is for everyone, and it's not gambling if you do it correctly. I started investing at 31 maybe, and I still have a really small portfolio, and it's going to be my goal next year probably to bolster that and get it up. But I wish I'd have started at 18 and not wasted money on other things and put it away in there. But yeah. Do I think money can bring you happiness? Absolutely. Come for me if you think that's false, but money may not directly make you happy, but it can do things that will make you happy. You can quit that job that you hate. You can start that business you've always wanted to start. You can move abroad where the weather's nicer. A big one for me, not personally, but through people that I am friends with and that I know. Healthcare. As they say, health is wealth. And if you had all the money in the world, you can make your life so much easier. As I said, if you have conditions that aren't great in the UK, you can move somewhere warmer that might improve your health. You can get physiotherapy every day, every week, if that was going to help you. You can go swimming in a heated swimming pool that's going to help your joints. You can, get an assistance dog. You can do so many things when you have money for your health. You can get private medical care. You can pay for drugs that the NHS aren't going to get you. You can do so much. That's not necessarily about materialistic things with the money. As I say, for me, I would be opening a little bakery for the locals. I would, be volunteering at local animal charities and adopting every animal in sight. I'd buy a farm and have every single animal possible. So I think, if someone gave you £5 million. You are not immediately going to be happy. Receiving the money itself doesn't bring happiness, but what you can do with it, you can certainly bring happiness, I think. And if you want to tell me that's not true, I will happily take £5 million to find out. So, that's the end of the questions. I hope you've learnt a little bit about me and a little bit about yourself. And remember that money doesn't have to be overwhelming, and that looking after your finances is a small step towards looking after your well-being. I hope you have